PK Reid, and I'm back to give you another Movie Monday. I'm again joined by my buddy Topkaj here, and we are excited to discuss this next movie. It's by one of my favorite actors. I say that often, but I truly mean it now. It's called Breakfast on Pluto, starring Cillian Murphy. Now, this movie, I I got this movie. Well, I recently bought this movie, but I saw this movie a long time ago during a very intense Cillian Murphy phase when I was looking at like every movie he was in. I do this, by the way, with all my favorite actors. I have phases where I look at everything they've been in, so I can see how they've grown as entertainers. Thank you for the constant reminder of how little you care about actors and movies. But nonetheless, I discovered this movie and I loved it. I loved his portrayal in it. I thought he did a really good job playing this character. It's based. This is the first movie we've. I mean, correct. I don't know if I'm right or not, but I think this is the first movie. Even though this is our only our fourth movie, but I think this is the first movie we've talked about where it was based off of a book. Because originally there's a book called Breakfast on Pluto.
No.
There's a book called Breakfast on Pluto, and it was written by a man. I think his name is John McGabe. I want to say that. He had a bit part in the movie as a schoolmaster. And
You told me about that.
Yeah, I did. See, the movie it's based in 1970s Ireland, which a lot of movies, at least mainstream movies, don't get set there that often. Which is interesting because a lot of Irish actors work here in Hollywood, like in America. You know, like Colin Farrell, Cillian Murphy, John Gleason. Brendan Gleeson, sorry, yeah, a lot of them. And this movie was actually really well done. It's based, the story is Cillian plays a character named Patrick, later Patricia, Kitten Braden. And we'll call him Kitten for references.
Her.
Call her Kitten. That's right, because he plays a transgender character. Kitten is transgender in the film and novel. And she's orphaned as a baby, left on the doorstep of a church, and we later find out that the pastor or the priest of that
father.
Yeah, the father of the church. I'm not well versed in religion at all. This one, but the father of the church, I guess Father Braden, is that his name? Father Liam. Isn't that weird that they call? Is it Father Liam or Father Ian? I forgot his name.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. They just refer to him as
father.
Yeah. But the father of the church ends up, we find out, is his actual biological father. And he spends his entire
adulthood.
Looking for his mother, thank you, who was the one to abandon him. And the father, or his father, Father Braden, I just call him Father Braden because they share the same
His daddy.
His daddy, Uncle Daddy. He has a very distant relationship with his son, so much so that he leaves him in the care of another family. I assume they're friends of the church, a woman and her daughter, and they raise him into young adulthood, and he resents them because of their strict, how they bring him up, strict and very Catholic-like. And
you can't be gay in this household, honey.
Pretty much. So he rebels against them, and he has his little misfit group of friends. A young black girl. I forgot her name. Was it Reid?
Her name was Charlie.
Charlie. I was close.
You were not.
It was Charlie. His other friend, Erwin.
Yes.
And their other friend, who was it James?
I believe it was Jonathan.
Something like that. He's a kid who had Down syndrome. Basically, they were like an outsider group, and they grow up together, and everyone has like a different journey. The movie jumps around a lot. Like the main story is Kittens. You know that for sure, for certain, is her story. But you have a side story involving the Irish Republic Army, which was very heavy around that time. It was like one of those things that it went through time, didn't it? The Irish Republic Army and their battle for their freedom.
Yeah, several years passed.
Yeah,
in the whole movie.
It did. It was a long time. So that story that weaved into Kittens' story.
It was at least 20 years.
Yeah, And yeah, thank you. And it was woven into Kitten's story very well, actually, because it showed us what Kitten's mindset is, how she's in a fantasy world. Basically, it's one of those things where I
Real life is going on around Kitten. Hence the war happenings, and then Kitten gives her interpretation of what's going on.
Yeah, it's like a physical interpretation of laugh to keep him crying. Like she doesn't take anything seriously. She's well aware of what's going on around her, but to keep herself from like losing it, she's in a
Which
fantasy.
it seemed like she lost it
She
being in
did.
a fantasy.
She pretty much did, but it seemed like she'd rather just engage in fantasy than in the fantasy.
She didn't want to take things seriously, and she also didn't want to be out of her league.
Really? Out of her league?
That came up several times in the movie.
Being out of her league?
You're out of your league, or you know, you don't know what you're getting into, etc. She heard that a lot.
Yeah, she did. They told her that quite a bit, which is really unfortunate. I think a lot of people actually did care about Kitten. She was hard not to care for, you know? Like, she's just so vulnerable and so innocent, which is why I also liked Cillian Murphy's performance in it. Because there was another movie he was in, The Wind That Shakes the Barley, another Irish movie. Yeah, no, he played, I think that also had to do with the Irish Republic Army, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you couldn't correct me. And he played a soldier, and he was
because I don't know my history?
No, because you don't know the movie. But, yeah,
Okay, so, you got it.
So, he played a rebel for the I think it was for the Irish Republic Army, if I remember correctly. I only saw that movie once during my Cillian Murphy phase because he died in it, and I was miserable. I was sad. I don't know what it is about him and his films, but he always ends up covered in blood or something. It's really weird. It's like he's got the Jared Leto thing.
We're really good.
Okay, thank you. So, but nonetheless, back to the movie. I'm gonna try to limit how I say nonetheless, by the way. Back to the movie. The way that it was put together, you could really relate to Kitten, and you felt for her, and you wanted her to see her mother. You wanted her to survive. It was just, her story was kind of heartbreaking, really. Even the ending, which was kind of happy, tragedy befell her for it to be happy. Yeah, very much. It was very much bittersweet. It was sad. It really was. It was. I really liked that. I really liked this movie because I liked how it was acted. I liked how everyone interpreted their characters. I really did, because I believed them. I actually believe that they really felt this way, that they were really going through these things, these struggles. And I don't know if that was because they were good actors or because they were in their element, being in Ireland. Because I noticed a lot of foreign actors and actresses, they tend to really bring it when they're in their own country, language, element, things like that. But when they're in America, some of them can't act for shit. Penelope Cruz. Not to name names. Penelope Cruz. So, cozy. So, I really liked the setting. I liked the different stories. I liked how they used chapters to know different times in her life. And I love that the contrast between fantasy and real life.
There were 36 chapters.
Oh, you kept count.
Yes. More or less. Mm-hmm. But there were at least 32.
I think that's the same chapters they have in the book, too.
Possibly.
You know, I never got a chance to read the book. I don't have the book either.
Shame.
It is. I'm sure it's a fantastic read. But this movie's a really good movie. If you want, it's another drama comedy movie. If you couldn't tell, that's like my thing. I really like the dramedies, as they call them. But this is a really good
at least
movie.
It's not a musical.
Oh, that's going to be on our list, by the way. We're going to hit Moulin Rouge, buddy.
That was a joke.
So, this is a good movie to watch if you are into drama comedies. I think Cillian Murphy deserved an Oscar for his performance as Kid, because first of all, he was a beautiful woman. His bone structure and those eyes make for a very striking appearance. Like, he's odd looking, but he's stunning as a woman.
He got better as the years went on.
Well,
but when he first started.
What, dragged out?
Yes.
What did he look like first dragged out? He looked the same.
A man.
Fair point.
But later in the movie, when he dressed up as the British Telecom woman.
He did look nice.
Looks like a woman.
He did.
Fooled me.
And his mother, apparently. Because, spoiler alert!
Don't.
He met his mother. He finally met his mother and the family she had started without him after a tearful and heart-wrenching reunion with his father. Because at one point, Kitten runs away, and she's gone for some time, and she doesn't talk to her dad. And her father finally tells her, in a sex shop of all places.
I'm your daddy.
In a sex shop of all places, that...
I'm your daddy. We got it.
No, he doesn't say that he's her dad. She knows he's her dad, but he finally tells her, without saying it, that he loves her.
I know your mammy is.
He tells her that he loves her without, in so many words, by finally telling her where her mother is. Because that's all she wanted. She'd been trying to get it out of her father for the longest time. And he finally realized, after not seeing her and missing her for as long as he had to do the right thing.
Because Cozy thinks it's cruel.
Cozy finds it entertaining, which is why he's giving you, like, the tricks. That's what it is.
Well, he finds out where his mother lives.
He does, finally.
And totally bails out on his plan.
Yeah, because he sees what his father was trying to sell, that the mother had moved on. She married. She
named her next son,
yeah,
Patrick.
Yeah.
After Patrick.
Yeah, which is really depressing.
To me, it seemed like, oh, let's start over.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. And that's the one that he bonds with the most. That she bonds with the most. Kitten actually interacts with young Patrick more than her own mother. And she ends up kind of bonding with young Patrick. Because he's kind of precocious. It's really sad. It's really sad. And the whole bombing of the parish. Because his friend ends up pregnant and she's a single mother. And her baby's father, by the way, these are all the friends. So he had a friend named Erwin and the friend Charlie. They end up getting together. They have their tumultuous relationship. And she ends up pregnant. And he, of course, has joined the IRA. Very extremist. And there's a subplot which ends up getting Erwin killed because he was trying to protect Charlie. That was sad.
And life goes on.
Life does go on, but it's really sad. It was like, that's another thing about Breakfast on Pluto. It was as if there was no
The whole
happy.
movie was sad.
Yeah, there was no happiness.
It was gay and it was sad.
It was
funny and gay and sad.
It was. The tragedies were so tragic. It was just, you couldn't even feel good for Kitten or any other character in that film for more than a moment before something awful happens. It was kind of heavy. I don't know what they were trying to say with that. Well, given that the time period, I guess you couldn't really be happy and relaxed. You had to be careful because you never know when shit would strike. But it was really intense. It was really intense. If you're the type of person to bond with movie characters, like you actually get lost in the film and you actually want the person to succeed, you want them to do well, you want that, this movie will not satisfy you at all. It really won't. But you will still enjoy it, if you know what I mean. Like, there's no sense of satisfaction. As we mentioned earlier, it's a bittersweet ending, and it's just not... I cried when I first saw it. I did. I cried for her. I did. Especially in that...
I didn't.
I did. Especially in the police station when they were beating her ass. I just wanted to give her a hug. I just wanted to hug her and tell her it's going to be okay.
Well, she could have stopped acting like a nut.
She couldn't. I told you. It was the laugh to keep from crying thing. It was the physical embodiment. It's like when transgendered people or drag queens, when they use they have the wall. And they use comedy to deflect. You know what I mean? Like if someone is coming on to them. Example, when she's in the club and she gets grabbed by the dude and he's like coming on to her and she's just like, oh, what do you think? You know, trying to like go for it. And then he's like, ew, you're a bloke.
You're a bloke.
Yeah, and she's like 10 for 10, Sherlock. That's the type of deal. Like they use comedy to hide the pain.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I hope you understand what I mean.
I got you.
Yeah, so I learned from that film and I really did enjoy it. And it was just really well done. I did. Do you have a favorite part from there?
I don't.
No?
But
it was all sad.
I could really relate to the movie because here this young man is just wondering who his mom is all his life. And I kind of was the same way because I wasn't abandoned, I don't think, but I didn't know who my real mom was. And years and years later, into my young adulthood, I got to meet her, and it wasn't anything like I expected. And when he finally had the opportunity to meet his mother, it wasn't as he expected it, unless he just kind of bailed out on his plan. But still, I can relate to that because it's never what you plan something for so long, and then it never turns out the way you think it should. So I could relate to him, but I didn't want to cry for him or her, whoever.
That's because you just hardcore.
I'm tough.
Nah, yeah, you are. Heart made of plexiglass.
I'm bad to the bone.
That's right. Why you're dressed like Mr. Rogers. So basically, the movie, I give it a 2 thumbs up, as Gina Siskel would say. You remember Gina Siskel?
I don't know who that is.
Siskel and Ebert.
I don't know who that is.
They're 2 people, and they were movie critics.
I don't really care.
Okay, I didn't think so, but the movie was great. I would highly recommend it to people who love films.
It was interesting. Yeah. I'm not going to say that it was boring or I didn't like it. I did like it, but it was very intense.
Yeah.
Lot of sad moments, but it was real. It was set in a real place and time.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be Kitten's story with a backsplash of everything else that was happening throughout history.
I liked how they used it as a background. Like it was well woven into the story, and I said that earlier, but I really do mean it because I was still able to focus on Kitten and understand how her surroundings were affecting her and her decisions. So it was good.
Yeah, I suggest people watch it, but the whole time you're gonna be like, WTF, mate?
Mate. Oh my goodness. Alright, well we'll go ahead and wrap this up then with our game of 6 degrees of separation. If you remember how the game went, we're gonna connect my buddy Topkaj here is gonna choose 2 random actors or actresses from the movie. One from...
I don't even remember what we watched last.
Keanu.
What was it? No, we didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Half Nelson. Sorry. We're going to connect one actor. You want me to get the video for Half?
No.
All right, we're going to connect one.
It.
Okay, we're going to connect one actor or actress from the movie Half Nelson. And we're going to connect another actor or actress to this movie, Breakfast on Pluto. So, Topkaj?
So you can connect... Because I don't know anybody's names. Is it Colin Farrell?
He wasn't in.
Who was that? Oh.
Half Nelson.
Don't tell me. Ryan Gosling. You can connect Ryan Gosling to Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. He played father in
Yes,
the
he did.
film. Good job.
Was he in Taken?
He was.
I know my movies. Yes, I knew he looks familiar.
Yeah, that's also the dude. Remember that movie Eastern Boys that you were telling me about? The guy, the French dude, who you said was in American films. He was in Taken too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know?
I'm aware.
How are you aware?
That's how I told you. He was Jean-Claude Van something. Okay, well, on with the game.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Excusez-moi. Okay. So, actually, this could be really quick.
Well, snap, snap. Clap, clap. Stat, stat. All right, let's go.
Okay. Ryan Gosling to Liam Neeson. Okay. Oh, if I could remember that shitty movie he was in with Eva Mendes, his now wife, by the way. They had 2 kids. They are low key with their shit.
Don't even know who
I didn't think you did. It's
well, okay. You tell me things and
you don't pay attention. Yeah, you really don't. You You really don't, and that's okay. I completely understand. Liam Neeson. Okay, so we could probably do. Don't do me like that. We could try Murder by Numbers. So we could try Ryan Gosling, who's in Murder by Numbers, with Sandra Bullock, who was who was in. Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah, I know that name of that movie.
Don't ask me.
I'm not going to. I know you don't know. He was in Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock, who was in what's that girl's name? Sandra Bullock, who was in what's Speed?
I don't know.
With Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Who was in
Boy, this is quick.
I know how I'm going to connect them. I'm just trying to go through the roster real quick.
Great.
Shut your face. Okay, so Sandra Bullock, who was in Speed with Keanu Reeves, who was in. He was in a shit ton of movies, too. What's that girl's name? With Keanu Reeves, who was in Dracula with Winona Ryder.
That movie was awesome. Oh my gosh. If y'all haven't seen Dracula, stole my heart.
Was it actually called Dracula?
I think it was Dracula Untold or something.
No, that's a different movie. You're talking about the one with Luke. Whatever.
I don't know.
It was Dracula Untold. That was recent. There's another movie.
I like the one that just came out in theaters like
that wasn't
2 or 3
that one.
years ago.
That wasn't that one. This one came out in 1990.
I like the new Dracula.
It wasn't Dracula though. What was it called? It had Gary Oldman as Dracula.
I don't know who that is. I'm just gonna look this way.
What was that movie what was the name of that movie? Actually, that's gonna bother me. I keep
Bloodsuckers.
No, I keep thinking of Interview with a Vampire, but that's not the same thing. Maybe it was Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Thank you. Not thank you, but so he was in Bram Stoker's Dracula with Winona Ryder, who was in Black Swan with.
That's also a good movie. Made me cry.
Mila Kunis, who was in. You're annoying me. You know that.
My legs are asleep.
All right, here I'll be quick. All right, so where was I?
Mila Kunis.
Okay, so he was okay. Who did you connect me to? Ryan Gosling. Okay.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan Gosling was in Murder by Numbers by Sandra Bullock, who was in Speed with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Speed.
Keanu Reeves was in Bram Stoker's Dracula with Winona Ryder, who was in Black Swan with Mila Kunis, who was in Friends with Benefits with Justin Timberlake, who was in Time with Cillian Murphy, who was in Breakfast with Pluto with Liam Neeson.
Woo!
Yeah. Sorry, it took me a second. I kept losing my train of thought. You're a distraction.
Well.
Or I just suck at this game when I'm put on the spot.
Or you just suck at this game.
When I'm put on the spot.
When you're put on the spot, or at all.
Anyway. There's that. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for viewing the channel. And, feel free to like, comment, subscribe even. And I appreciate...
Don't look so sad.
Well, I want to give them the option. I don't want to say subscribe.
No, don't give them the option. Say you do it.
No, you kill them with kindness. Honey, not vinegar. You catch more bees than flies with honey than you do vinegar. So...
We don't want flies.